All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. So when I'm feeling too good about my 22 years of game journalism and our 10 years of GamesBeat conferences and my 15,000 stories in a decade, I think of my little friend Cuphead here. Cuphead is a humbling talisman. It reminds me that as much as I think about the industry, and whether it's about CEOs or business models or fundings, it's really about fun. It's about creativity, skill, and inspiring people to accomplish great feats. Cuphead helped me find one of my enormous blind spots. At the lowest level, Cuphead was a celebration of skill. It's about getting your fingers in touch with the game. But it's also a reminder of our predisposition to draw lines between us and them, to separate into tribes of the skilled and unskilled. It made me think about exclusive and inclusive behavior. It's okay to create a difficult game and to put in the time to learn how to play it. It's wonderful how a creative game can open your mind and open your thinking and get you to learn something new, like SimCity taught me many years ago how taxes actually work. Right? Actually, if you raise your taxes in the city, like everybody leaves your city and goes to the next city, right? So Cuphead was just as important to me in a new way. It's important to remember that games are for everybody, even those of us who are unskilled or, more politely, still learning. It is stunning that some people won't accept that unskilled play is authentic. I should not be so embarrassed for being bad at Cuphead. The only requirement for being a gamer is that you enjoy what you're playing. Back in 2015, I said on stage that I wouldn't advise my daughters to go into the game business based on the ugliness I saw around Gamergate. I was trying to inspire the industry to do better, and it has. Right? I may take that advice back based on seeing you step forward to fight exclusion, whether it's in the way you fought for the immigration ban or participated in Me Too to make the industry safer for women in the future. Embracing all gamers makes sense. The skillful don't need to put down people from other tribes to elevate their own subculture. The skillful should embrace the unskilled because the way we get to the next billion gamers is through inclusivity and accessibility. We build this conference as an exclusive conference. But we're not trying to keep good people out. We made sure that this room was filled with a combination of interesting leaders and interesting and diverse people from the gaming industry of the future. We want to widen the community of fresh and underappreciated talent and connect these people with industry veterans like Jade Raymond, Robin Hunicke, or Amy Jo Kim. These are some of the people who can inspire the next generation and bring more diverse gamers and game creators into the fold. We've invited you here to listen to inspirational ideas about the future of games and how to go about building better games and better businesses so that we can add those billion or so gamers. Our theme builds on last year's summit on the intersection of science fiction, games, and Silicon Valley. But it also keeps us grounded in the notion that business is what will get us to the future. And take VR. It's very inspiring. Ready Player One painted an amazing vision for what it could be. But there aren't many VR systems selling now, and we need a bridge of sound business ideas to get VR to its wonderful future. Those bridges might involve AR, enterprise VR, or VR arcades. If we zoom out a bit, we find that some investors have shifted their money into AR and esports for now. I see a deal every week, with esports and VR. And AR. I don't see as many VR deals anymore. But what is the macro view of games? I like to think that GamesBeat is a unique publication because we cover things like Cuphead at the lowest level, but we also ask questions at the high level, pulling up to get some strategic zoom on the landscape. Here we see the grand schemes of Tencent investing billions in Supercell, or Epic Games, of EA and Activision trying to outmaneuver each other. The cross-entertainment strategies of Warner Brothers and everyone else in Hollywood. And surprises like Battle Royale sweeping across borders and genres. We see not only games, which have become a $116 billion industry, but also the golden era for artificial intelligence. There's AR and VR, natural language interfaces, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. And we wonder how these are going to affect gaming in some way. We see the massive chess game among companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Tencent. And when we think of these companies and what they are doing, we think expansively about games and not narrowly. We're in an era of accelerating and cascading revolutions, and it isn't easy to see exactly which one is important to you. That gives you, the leaders of the game industry, tough choices to make when it comes to fundamental tech, platforms, engines, marketing tech, tools, outsourcing. At a low level, we can write a story that teaches you about the difference between a polygon and a voxel. But our job here today is to expose you to big ideas and inspirations from some of the smartest people in the business, and then give you the opportunity to network with. So we moved to this location, this lovely place, because it is removed from your offices. Sadly, you can't go back to your hotel room so easily or head off to Starbucks. The crowd here is small enough where you get to know people. It's like a weird kind of speed dating where you can swipe right or swipe left on all the people who can make all the difference in the world for your business. If you open your mind and open your thinking, you might find someone like our speaker, David Reichelt, who created 40 games before he created Color Switch, which has been downloaded 250 million times. He told me that the way to be creative was to look at two different things and try to combine them. The same way that it takes two parents to make a child. Or you might find Amar Zaim, who started making games with his brothers when they were teenagers in Pakistan. They've moved up the food chain in game development in the world and are now on their second startup called Fizz, and it's related to games. You'll find different people here. There are developers, publishers, CEOs, technologists, students, press, marketers, venture capitalists, and investors. On our sub-theme of science fiction, tech, and games, we're welcoming back speakers like Minority Report science advisor John Underkoffler, Niantic Labs CEO John Hankey, and science fiction writer Elliot Pepper. Now, we like to sort of dismiss sci-fi as a distant future. But last year, we had a session that explored self-driving cars and racing games. And this year, NVIDIA announced a way to test self-driving cars by driving them billions of miles inside virtual reality. We've also got a new sub-theme called the leisure economy, which is about people who have figured out a way to get paid to play games. I do that as a game journalist. But today, we have esports athletes, cosplayers, influencers, YouTubers, live streamers, modders, and many other people who are getting paid to play. The question is, can we create a long tail for these people who are inventing careers that didn't exist 5 or 10 years ago, so that more than just celebrities can cash in? I like this theme because it takes us from this high level of economics down to a personal level, getting into this conversation about what career advice would you give to your child or someone new in the industry. Of course, you should stay in school, right? But what is the new plastics word to whisper into the ear of a college graduate? And right now, there are 500 students going to college on League of Legends scholarships. When you think about it, the people with the answers are the people in this room. You aren't just figuring out your own jobs. You are creating jobs across companies, and you're building platforms that will create whole economies of the future. And this is not fantasy. As Tim Sweeney of Epic Games predicted last year, the metaverse could be built within a few years. And if you want to build the metaverse or the oasis, I applaud you, because you will affect the lives of billions. I think about where in the world the game jobs are and why. It is hard to measure, but the spread of gaming and game development into places like Israel, Helsinki, Pakistan, and even Siberia is inspiring. Mario Valle of Altered VC, he's one of our lightning round speakers, and he's building a VC business so games can spread into even more emerging markets. We have some young people here, like Sawyer Lewis, better known as the Fortnite player Sir Demetrius. We should watch people like this and how this new generation creates their own idea of work. Because at some point, that work is going to transition to play, and they are going to get paid to play, and that is how it should be. So imagine that. You could create a virtual world and transform the real world of jobs and build a real world where everyone is playing rather than working. Especially if AI eliminates all the rest of the job, right? So, I don't want to bottle everything up in a couple of themes. So sometimes the theme or not, we just want to hear conversations about the next hot thing. So we've got sessions on blockchain, monetization, China, Hollywood, influencers, platforms, and more. We don't know exactly what will take off in the game industry, but the people who are talking about these subjects can help you figure it out. There's a lot of authentic Gunters in this room. We have 40 CEOs, presidents, and founders among our 82 speakers. We have 12 women and 19 people from minority groups. And somewhere among us, there must be someone who finished Cuphead. So we're always trying to get the right people in the room. We look forward to enable deals and connections across categories. We want you to think of GamesBeat as the neutral zone of the industry, where competitors and comrades and Klingons alike can gather and build a sense of community. There aren't many havens like this left in the game business. Many companies have their own events, but GamesBeat is a place where all are welcome, and we all get to get over our tribalism. It's a safe space for open minds and open thinking. Maybe the idea about the leisure economy is a kooky one. I just keep repeating it until someone comes up with something better. But remember when people thought live streaming was kooky? Well, here we are live streaming our main stage on Twitch and Facebook. We have fellow journalists present, including pros and students. I encourage you to talk with USC's team of student journalists here. Some of our volunteers have also come from local game development programs. Cogswell College sent a few over. Peter Anders, the son of a couple of my friends, flew down from Vancouver, where he's going to college studying games. And he's volunteering, and he's here to meet people. So please make them all feel welcome. I don't want to put too much responsibility on you all here. It's a place to have fun. But what you do at the GamesBeat Summit matters. So thank you so much for coming.